you can always add more to a painting, but you need to realize that the painting's already been done.
Like, at what day and moment was I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I wish I could go back and kick that sumbitch in the dick.
This is cool.
Whatever somebody's going through, like even the little things are things that like progressively get bigger. Like there's ways around it. There's ways to like go through it. There really is.
Everything has a consequence. Everything changes with every decision that you make.
Are these clips from the pod?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
This is me versus me.
That took me like a full.
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
That took me a full Saturday to make, man.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Just finding the right clips for the right moments. And,
I understand.
And coming across it, I was like, yes.
No, it's, for sure. It sounded cool. I'm amped up.
It's cheesy, but I love it.
Dude, the first one was like, it sounded, the first song that you used to have,
Yeah.
it sounded like one of those songs behind the Andrew Tate edits on TikTok.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
just like he's like, why are you in bed? And then everyone, like, that music starts dropping.
Yeah.
But, dude, I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan
Serrato.
Serrato. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you scheduling with me and keeping up with it. And I'm thankful to have you here.
Of course.
Our mutual friend Jose had good things to say.
Yeah.
And he's going to listen to this and be like, oh, you just said my name again.
Yeah, no, I told him I'd shout him out. I was like, dude, I'll shout you out. He was like, thanks, bro.
Jose's a bad motherfucker.
No, he's cool.
I love him.
He's dangerous.
He's his words are dangerous, man.
Yeah, he's fun.
He'll get you hyped up.
No, he's fun, bro. We just go out for lunch sometimes and we're just shooting shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good time. It's a good time.
I keep talking about going with him and going to see his office and kind of and getting a little bit more involved and all that stuff because we had talked about what I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but almost like me being involved because of the platform and just learning basically what I need to know to get my hands in deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I shouldn't use the word deals. That feels wrong when I'm talking about life insurance.
That's what it is, man. I mean, hopefully this is not going to turn some people off to the life insurance play, but it is multi-level marketing, not scheme.
Right.
It's not a scheme.
It's
multi-level
not a scheme.
marketing, and Jose's explained to me. He explained this to me in like multiple different ways, but I knew prior to talking to him. It is just a way to help people while helping yourself, while other people are getting a product. Difference between a scheme and a market MLM is the scheme. No one buys the product. No one uses it. In the multi-level marketing, they actually use the product. They believe in it. And so for him,
yeah, that's always been the hardest part for me with when it comes to life insurance is there's a very, very fine line between, just being a salesman and actually selling something that people need.
It's hard.
And I admire the way he does it.
No, yeah, he's been going to. I do classes in real estate. I teach people about AI and marketing and all that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and he's been going for like a year. Just going, talking,
Strong.
meeting. And he never pitched me, hey, do you want to be an agent or do you want to be a part of the team? Never. He just always showed up, met with other people, got his connections, and did his thing. And then recently he was like, hey, man, I think you and your mom could really have a thing going on here with the deeds that you guys do and the wills and trusts. And I'm like, yeah, because a lot of people ask us about insurance. And that's when he was like, all right, here it is. He doesn't oversell. So I appreciate you, Jose. Thank you, buddy. Mr. Casas.
That's the stuff that you deal with in real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
My sister has been a really, really aspiring real estate agent for the last probably like 10 years. She's doing amazing things and doing her own stuff, which is amazing. I still just don't know shit about it.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot.
Do your I shouldn't say basic, but deeds and trusts and stuff like that. Is that like, would you call that like entry level real estate knowledge or?
No, I wouldn't call it real estate knowledge. As a notary, I'm a notary.
That's right.
And then we do the legal doc prep stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then so the legal doc prep, I also do marketing. There's two companies, notary stuff, legal docs within that notary business, and then my marketing stuff is at another company. But yeah, for the legal doc prep, that's more of an introduction to just document preparation and understanding how to draft legal docs. So wills, deeds, trust, outside of that, POAs, what goes into creating them. That's my mom. She does that. I'm not even certified to create a legal document in Arizona. but I help with the marketing for it.
That's a
Yeah.
responsibility. Create a legal document.
It's, dude, one letter's off, that person's not protected.
Oh, that
You know
sounds
what I mean?
so scary.
It's sketch. It's crazy. It's a huge burden.
I mean, it kind of makes sense over the years. Not that I've ever done anything that's legal. No, I shouldn't say it that way. I've dealt with a lot of vehicle stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've always been into like buying, selling, trading vehicles, and I've dealt with a lot of weird situations.
I bet.
And it just makes sense to me now that you talk about how severe the consequences are of not being 100% correct. Why the notary is necessary.
Yeah, the notary, the legal, the
Yeah.
prepper, like the person writing out the words, the addresses, the names. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
AI helps a lot though. My mom be like, okay, I have the whole thing. I'm just putting in AI, make sure everything's correct, standard. And then it's like, no grammatical errors. Oh, there's a comma missing here, or there's too much spaces here.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
Yep.
Holy cow. That's got to save a bunch of time.
It saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Her output's crazy.
Wow. See, I'm in my head thinking like she writes it down and then has to type it into AI. I'm like not even thinking about the fact that it's probably already on the computer.
Yeah.
I'm so old. I'm aging myself right now.
Have you used AI at all?
No, I can't say that I have.
Dude, I'm
mean-
happy to introduce you to that world,
Yeah.
man.
Other than a little bit for this,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I use.
Oh man, what do you use? ChatGPT.
No. Like I said, the only thing I need is for the syncing. And I use Power Director.
Okay.
Just the basic one. That's all I need is just the syncing, and I'm so thankful for it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd spend 2 hours frustrated trying to find out where to sync it.
Yeah. Like make a loud noise and get the audio,
Yeah.
the peak, and then.
It's so difficult. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk more about AI because now you got me hooked.
Dude, I'm down. Oh my gosh, that's what I teach. I have an AI company. So that's pretty much the marketing. It's transformed into marketing. We started as developers, software developers, making custom AI platforms.
I think
apps.
you and I are gonna have something to talk about.
Let's do
after
it.
this.
Let's do it. Custom AI platforms, apps. That's what we started. We're like, hey, company, do you need anything that needs to be automated, streamlined? We can do it for you. We're a full stack developer. I'm a marketer. Let's do it. But that slowly transitioned to, well, in reason because not a lot of people understand AI. So they're like, oh, can we get a CRM, customer relationship management tool? Can we get a CRM that like manages all of our emails and text messages and posts for us and gets photos? And we're like, yeah, it's $20,000. And no one was, so all those leads that we were working hard to get, we just made sure transferred over. Hey, we could do your SEO, your management for marketing. And everyone's kind of like, that sounds better and easier.
That's much better.
In the future, when when they understand it, not that it's not here right now, just when they understand it's necessary, that's when we'll most likely convert those clients. But no, AI is insane. AI is so cool, man. You should probably try it out.
Utilize it a little bit more.
Yeah, especially like with the podcast, you could do like template writing, or you could just copy someone's whole LinkedIn page if you had a client on, and just put it in ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI, and be like, give me an idea.
There's definitely instances where I need to put stuff in like links and things like that, more involved for other people.
Yeah.
And I haven't found a viable option.
Let's do it.
And that's not to say that there's not any. That's to say that I'm not educated enough.
No, for sure. No, same here, dude. There's always a solution somewhere.
Yeah.
For cheap.
I'm not the producer,
Yeah. I get you.
There's a reason that these producers and the marketing guys and everything they have degrees for all this stuff.
Yeah.
I do not.
For sure. I understand.
I've picked all this up on my own.
I love it, man. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Of
I don't know if
course.
I've said that, but
Yeah.
it's pretty fun. I will watch your episodes.
No, the more and more we talk, the better this is getting. So,
Oh, yeah.
like I said, you have what seems to be a few things to offer that I'm definitely interested in.
Just talk about it.
So, well, I mean, both marketing and AI. It's been something I've been talking about for like the last 6 months. I don't know how to market this thing correctly. I don't know how to get it out. I don't know really what I'm supposed to be following, you know? So I'm just kind of doing what I know, and I feel like what I know is outdated. And
What is it that you know?
Well, I
Let's
just
say.
what I know is, for example, when our episode's getting ready to come out, what I'll do is I'll pull 2 minutes out of it,
Yeah.
And I'll do what is my version of an advertisement. I'll put a clip on TikTok and I'll put a clip on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Since my Facebook converted my thing to a digital content creator,
That's-
it did it on its own.
What?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
It started noticing what I was doing with my Facebook.
AI.
And it was like, we've converted your Facebook platform to a professional version, and you're now a digital content creator. And I was like, okay. And most people are like, oh yeah, we can't send you a friend request, but we can follow you. And I'm like, yeah, it's just because
That's so weird.
it converted all my stuff.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Meta's weird, bro.
It did it on its own. So, but that's all I know is the couple of reels. Every now and again, I put out little advertisements or little virtual clips of shit, and I feel like I should be doing a lot more.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, for sure. No, I understand. Yeah, I have a pod, like I was mentioning.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
No, don't. It's if you want to, you can. It's very notary based, and we haven't uploaded for a long time.
He's like, we're a little behind,
dude. No, for sure. Like, it was funny. I ended the last episode, and I was like, "Hey, everyone!" In the notary space, there's a guy named Mark Wills, and he's such a huge player in the education side. And so everyone that was listening to the pod, notaries, they have taken some educational course. Most likely, it was his. So everyone knew Mark in our audience, and we were like, "Hey, Mark's going to be on the next episode." We haven't uploaded for a year, dude. And I'm like, fuck. No. So it just logistically, each episode costs like almost $350. Pay the audio engineer, pay the videographer, and have the studio, which we just never had. So,
man, everything you just said just verifies exactly why it's still just me.
Very understandable.
You know,
I totally get it.
Yeah.
No, it's expensive, man.
There's so many people that are like, I'm willing to help and I'll be involved, and I'm like, I don't think you. Oh, excuse me. I don't think most people don't understand what it's going to mean if they say that they want to be involved. In the production.
It's crazy.
I'm like, there's going to be days where I'm going to call you just randomly and tell you, hey, we got a podcast in an hour.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, is that how it works with your guests? Sometimes it's like, I come in right now. You're like, oh, fuck it. Let's do it.
I would say probably like,
if you could get them in.
Well, once or twice a month, I'll end up doing an impromptu just because the opportunity comes up. Like if somebody's hanging out, there's one of my good friends that comes over, and he likes to play around in here. And sometimes we'll literally just sit here and he'll throw on the headphones and we'll just start bullshitting. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to fire it up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So every now and again, it's super impromptu, but for the most part, I try to keep things really scheduled, just because everybody has a full-time job.
Yeah.
Everybody has a life. Everybody's busy.
Yeah, like even today, we had to push it back an hour. I was totally fine.
That's my fault. I was just busy at work.
Worked out for me, dude, because I had a whole meeting. We're showing like our software and stuff, and it was a demo, and I was like, either cut that short or push the pod back, and then you asked, hey, let's do 6. I'm like, perfect. Yeah,
man.
That works out. So yeah, no, that totally works out.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and with the marketing, man, for the pod, I understand. It is like, it's just around, especially in marketing. When I teach about it, I say like, the problem is that there's too many pools that we're all dipping our toes in, and no one's taking a deep dive, touching the bottom, coming back up, telling everyone, hey, I know what's down there. I know the whole pool and I understand it fully. No one's doing that. They all have just their toes in, and it's like 10 different pools.
Well, nobody wants to do that because then they got to make sure they're going to make money on it.
Yeah. And so when I teach, I'm like, there's 10 different pools. I understand it. It's crazy. Starting with marketing, you got your website. Oh, I got to get a website. I need to pay someone. I don't understand SEO. Oh, I got to do Instagram. I don't understand Reels. Oh, I got to do Facebook. I don't understand ads. Google, blah, blah, blah. Is being even up? Like, those questions. And then I'm like, when I teach, I make sure it's actionable. So at that class, I'm teaching about a certain software. Let's start here. I'm going to teach you the setup, exactly how it works. I'm free whenever you need me. Do this, and let's finish it by the end of the week, end of the month. Dive in the pool, man. I was like,
so
this is the only way you get ahead. Yeah, pretty much. It's like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's all free. That's what I'm like. It's all free.
Excuse me.
No worries. But yeah, that's what I believe in. It's just free content. If you need our services, we're here. And so, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. But I get the marketing. It's difficult. It's annoying, too.
Yeah. It's, and for somebody, which I'm not alone, but somebody like in my particular situation, this stuff is all really time consuming.
Yeah. Yep.
It really, it's, I know you saw it on YouTube, but my YouTube channel is so it's so unorganized and it's so not kept.
I watched I went to the oldest video published, and I was like, who's this Mark guy? Because isn't there a guy named Mark, or like, so, hold on, let me,
Yeah, let's see.
dude, because I was watching it, and I was like, who's that? But, hold on. Take 5.
Take 5.
No. Here, let me see. Do you edit? Do you clip out certain, like, dead air, or do you just upload the whole thing raw?
As far as that kind of stuff goes, I have never pulled time out. One thing I do try to do, because it seems to be a continuous, ongoing process, is if I have to clip fix, if I have to normalize a little bit, if I have to change the volumes, stuff like that. I don't really have to so much these days. I seem to have found a pretty happy home. So,
is Zach Morgan? Why are there so many videos on your YouTube of Zach Morgan? Who is that?
They're not videos, are they? They should be.
They're like.
Oh, they're just.
They're 14 1 hour. I don't know.
They're just audio.
Oh, what is it? Is that a guest?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
He should be making a reappearance here soon.
Hey, cool.
He went on hiatus for a little bit. Was trying to do some stuff for himself, and he was with me for a lot of the beginning processes and a lot of the transitions.
Because on YouTube it doesn't say like episode or podcast me versus me. It just says Zach.
Oh, just his name?
Yeah, and I was like, the mysticism in this YouTube channel right now is crazy. So no, that's cool. So is your buddy?
Yeah, he's a really good friend, longtime friend of mine. He saw. I mean, this thing's been through so many iterations. It's me just trying to figure out what its home looks like.
Yeah. Because
the vision that I had for it in the very beginning and what it's turned into are two wildly different things.
No, yeah, for sure.
And this thing, funny enough, started in I had a dining room for a little bit, and it was in the living room, It started off there with just a desktop computer and trying to figure it out.
I like what it's become.
I love what it's become.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Like journey documentation.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
I get to see people's true fire and true passion.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love
That's
it.
awesome.
Some people refer to it as like a mild version of therapy, and I try to kind of avert from that. I don't think it's therapy. I think it's just healthy,
Yeah.
Trying to maintain that human connection that we're supposed to have.
Yeah, that's what you texted me. I was like, that's a big ass mission. I like that. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of a son of a bitch, but
no, for sure.
It's this in only, I would say, 2 years. I've only been recording for a year, but this in only 2 years, this whole process has become more home and stuff that I want to do than any job has. This is just something that is just a part of what I do now.
What was the original mission for starting the pod?
Let's see if I can remember what I had in mind.
Or why'd you start it? There you go.
Why I started it is honestly more complicated than the vision, I think. Why I started it was just because I think over a period of a certain amount of time, like I'm 35 now, and I think right around 31, 30, I started opening my eyes. It's about when most men start really fucking growing. And I just started opening my eyes to this realization that I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are half the time why they are, and we get criticized and we get ridiculed when we ask those questions.
Yeah.
In real life anyway. Like you do that shit at work and people just talk shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just kind of decided I'm going to put people on the spot and I'm going to start asking questions.
Hey.
And I'm going to see if I can figure out, what the root of these things is.
That's pretty cool.
And it was never meant to be negative. It's definitely, a positive base.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if I gave people the purpose to explain why they are the way they are, then it would be more welcome. Give them the platform.
Yeah.
Give them a voice, and that's it's turned out to be an amazing thing for a lot of people.
That is true. I've seen so many podcast videos, whatever, of people that are not cool people, bad people, whatever. And then someone's actually having a genuine conversation with them, and they can explain in full honesty and transparency what they believe in, why they think X, Y, Z. And then the other person's kind of sitting there like, they may not agree with it, but then they could keep asking questions. At least their point of view is documented. That's a huge deal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Given the time and the voice and the ability to explain all the avenues, I think is hugely important.
No, I believe in that.
You know, so that's really why what I wanted in the beginning is probably a lot different than what's manifested.
As it should.
Yeah.
It should grow.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that's valid.
This thing took on its own face faster than I could keep a hold of the reins.
That's cool.
And I loved it. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. That's just do it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing.
It's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I'm happy with it, and I hope that it continues to grow. I'm hoping that this expansion is going to be. I'm hoping that's going to be something that the big something that I've been looking for.
Mhm.
So, because there's been a couple opportunities that I've had where I'll have some. There's been weekends where I've had like 5 guests lined up.
Weekends?
Yeah,
Like 2 days, you had 5 guests?
like on a Saturday.
Oh, shit, that's crazy.
If I have like an open Saturday,
Yeah.
then and if I have the opportunity, I'll just stack them up.
Wow.
For one, I love it,
You know, I bet. That's cool.
and for two, I love having the episodes ready to go.
Mm.
I do have a lot of people that ask me throughout the week if I don't post on time.
When's on time? What's your schedule?
It's supposed to be Mondays and Fridays.
Any time specific?
No,
Ah,
no. When they post is really when I have the time.
that's cool. Okay.
But there are a fan base that goes like, hey,
No, I know because
Yeah.
I see the consistency and
Yeah.
the amount of views, and I'm like, there's a little group out there that's probably just consistently
like
watching.
when are you dropping? I need something to listen to, and I'm like, ah, shit, I'm working on it.
That's hilarious.
So,
You know who Alex Ramosi is?
mm-mm.
He's I'm happy to introduce him to you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the listeners, Alex Ramosi is a badass dude, but he wrote a book, and the books are great. I read one of them, but he has a book called $100 Million Offers. Great book. $100 Million Leads. When he was writing the leads book, he was like, people were asking me about, hey man, where the fuck is the book, man? I need some leads. And he was like, I can't do anything, man. I'm writing it. No, so I believe that's funny that you have that with the video. So
Yeah.
it's like, bro, drop the damn video. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
There's so many. There's a definite like handful of people that are expecting it, and I love it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
No, you definitely are, man.
So-
Even documenting, having a conversation outside of even it being recorded
Mhm.
with people is worth it, in itself. So
I really am just. I know it's only been a year of. Oh shit, we're almost in April.
yeah,
I've been putting out episodes for almost a year and a half now.
wow.
I'm looking. It's still young, and I understand that.
Mhm.
But I'm looking for the next big leap,
Mm.
and I don't know what that looks like yet.
Do you have an idea of it or no?
No,
That's good. That's fun. That's fun.
it's almost not fun. It's kind of frustrating.
Oh, no, well, it's exciting because once it hits, you're like, is this it? And then you let it breathe and it builds and you're like, and then it tanks and you're like, that wasn't it. Then there's just so much of those. It's fun.
There is something that I want to do, and I don't think it's gonna be what it needs, but it's something I want to do.
Mm. Can we drop it on the pod right now or no?
I'll talk about it. Yeah, I've teased with it for a long time, but I want to do. It's gonna be expensive, but I want to do a tour.
Ooh, nice.
I have probably like 15 different states worth of interest, and whether that's friends of mine, associates of mine.
I was gonna ask,
yeah.
do you know them?
Some of them are family. Some of them are just longtime friends. Some of them are just points of interest.
Nice.
And there's other things that I want to line up when I do that. Some other big voices on like social media and stuff like that. So I don't know how the fuck to even accomplish that because that's going to be out of my pocket.
No, for sure. It is. It's expensive.
So I'm hoping that whatever it means to get this thing funded, then maybe I can lead off with that.
No, yeah. Okay.
But that's one of my goals. I've never seen. Actually, there is one podcast that I've seen that travels, and she is a. Fuck, I can't remember what the podcast is, and I don't want to butcher it.
No, I know a podcast that does travel. Heated, probably controversial. Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his podcast.
Impulsive?
Impulsive. Yeah, they travel. Like
Really?
that's a whole like mobile setup.
Oh shit.
Yeah. If now that I mentioned it, you'll probably watch it and be like, okay, I see the background. Watch another one, totally different place. Yeah, they'll record it outside of like a boxing, like a whole event where like Mike Tyson's going to be or Snoop Dogg or whatever, and you can hear in the background a crowd, and they're like just backstage. But it's a whole mobile setup.
That's cool.
No, it's not easy, and they talk about it. Good luck with that. That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun, dude.
That's gonna be super fun, but I'm gonna have to mobilize this setup or buy more shit.
Yeah.
Probably both.
Yep. Probably.
So I think we're probably years away from that, which is okay because hopefully by a couple more years we'll have some kind of
Monetization.
monetization going. That's what I hope for. Anyway.
Is this monetized right now?
No.
Currently?
This is,
I could probably help you with that.
Yeah,
I
would.
probably. Yeah.
I would love for the opportunity.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I could talk to you about it. For sure.
Because I mean, the ultimate goal for me is if I can take this full time and dedicate to my sponsors or to the whatever the monetization is. Dude, I'll spend my weeks.
That's interesting.
I'll spend my weeks doing whatever I need to do to make this full time.
Like cold calling a whole bunch of sponsors. Dude, I was in it for a minute. Well, that rhymed. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, man. I don't, by the way, I'm 21.
Okay.
I'm able to drink.
I didn't even ask like an asshole.
I know. No, that's funny. No. Yeah, I usually don't drink for the anyone listening at this point, man. So I usually don't drink. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
And so I thought it would be cool to have a little drink with you.
In the true spirit of the me versus me.
Oh, for sure. And so I guess to kick it off, I'd like to know more about what you do, or at least a little bit behind why you're here specifically. Like, why do you want to go full time? What are you doing right now?
For work? I'm just a mechanic right now.
Hey, I need a mechanic. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Hey, that works out.
Yeah. When I started doing this, I was a tow truck driver.
Okay.
And those are 12-hour days.
Damn.
And the whole building process of this was all on that schedule.
Really?
Yeah.
Around a 12-hour shift?
Yep.
Ah, damn.
And we built this room.
This is cool, by the way.
It's small, but it gets the job done.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. Thank you. The whole process started off, like I said, in the dining room. I had it in the back room at one point. It's the iterations are wild, but we built this room by hand from everything. This was open like the rest of the patio.
Really? Did it just like continue? Like the patio is just a huge.
Yeah. Yep. It was literally just open.
Wow.
So we did this from front to back, top to bottom.
With the brick wall, was that there?
That's the house.
Okay.
Not happy about that.
I think it looks cool. It looks like Joe Rogan's old setup. You know?
Yeah.
It's badass.
The one in California.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm a mechanic right now at a dealership. I wanted to switch my schedule for a lot of reasons. Being a tow truck driver is, for one, fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
The 12-hour days were getting old. I've been doing that for a lot of years, and I was like, I wanted to focus more on this, and in that industry, they want you to focus more on that.
I feel like that's all industries. All corporate jobs
You're
are
probably not wrong.
No, for sure. They're like just soul sucking and then, hey, give us a 2-week notice so we know, how, like we just may be prepared. But they can fire you on the spot. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, that's crazy.
But I switched. I have a really, really fucking great schedule now. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm like 8 to 4 if I want it to be. 8 to 3 if I want it to be.
Nice.
And so it opens up a lot of time for this.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but I'm right around the corner.
So what was your first job?
My first job?
Yeah.
Like when I was 15?
Oh, were you 15? Yeah, sure. Then.
Sardello's Pizza.
Hey.
Right around the corner.
So how did that transition to, like, I want to know the history.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Have you talked about it on the pod, your history?
There's one episode that is about my story.
Okay.
But it was a long time ago.
Let's do it.
You want to hear more?
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Phoenix.
No shit.
Yeah.
Are you from here?
Yeah, from here.
Oh. That's like number 2 that I've ever met.
Really? Same. Dude, no.
People that are from here?
Yeah. It's rare.
I had to ask. I was like, well, if we're going to go through my story, I got to at least ask something about him.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I get it.
No, I actually grew up. Are you familiar with this area?
Yeah.
Are you know Deer Valley Park?
Yep.
So I grew up in the neighborhood right across the street from that.
So you're from here also?
I've been here since I was like 2.
Oh, where were you born?
L.A.
Where in L.A.? I got a lot of family out there.
People are a place called Bellflower.
Oh, where's that?
In L.A. It's a little shithole.
Dude, you said you're from L.A. Totally. No, I should.
My mom's from Norwalk and my dad's from Paramount.
Okay.
Nowhere good. But they moved out here. when I was a baby, and I've just been from here.
Nice.
Yep.
So
So
you've seen it develop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
the
crazy.
101 wasn't even here when I got
Yeah.
here, so yeah, my story is it's a wild one. It's a whole lot of learning curves.
Yep.
So
Well, I want to extract from it, but if we want to go through my stuff, I'm happy to, man. Here to learn. Like the more I talk, the less I'm learning. So
what if you had to put a sentence to what you're asking, what would it be?
Well,
What are you thinking?
for you,
Yeah.
just your journey. I just want to better understand. We've, by the way, for full transparency, we've never talked outside of this.
No,
A few
this is
text messages.
first time we met.
Yeah. So as my like basis understanding what you've done, where you went to school, stuff like that.
I'll give you a crash course.
Yeah, let's do it.
My sister was on here last time we were just talking about this.
Oh, cool.
I grew up right around the corner. I'll say relatively normal childhood. Both working parents. I went to Barry Goldwater. Everything was relatively normal until I was like 14.
Ooh, what happened?
My mom got. I don't know exactly like what happened, but I know that whatever. It ended with her being ill. Like she had been normal forever, as far as I remember, and then something happened. Like she just got sick, and then MS all of a sudden arose out of her. I don't know if you know what MS is.
What is that?
Multiple sclerosis. And this has. There's some people that get it that it affects their nerves, like in their legs, causes pain, or unable to use their legs for a certain amount of time, things like that. Just as an example, she got it in her brain,
No way.
and it took most of her vision,
Wow.
changed her as a person. This was an ongoing medical issue for another 15 years,
Wow.
and she was.
That's like 10 years ago, right?
I
If
mean,
I'm following the timeline, it was like 11 something years ago.
about 4 years ago, things became almost normal.
Okay.
So when I was 15, I lost my parents, basically, because my dad at that point was just dedicated to taking care of her.
Yeah.
She obviously lost her job, life fell apart, blah, blah, blah. What I'm realizing as I get older is at that point in time, when I was 14, 15, and I had to go live with my brother because they couldn't take care of me.
Yeah.
I, at that point, in my brain, it translated to I lost my parents. So I'm picking up the pieces as far as what kind of damage that did. And I'm figuring that out right now.
Nice.
But figuring that out, going through my 20s, without having any real hand to hold,
Probably translated to a lot of just other emotions.
I'm learning how much of a motherfucker it was. Me learning and dragging down other people with me. Not necessarily on purpose, just trying to figure life out on my own.
No, for sure.
Without having, any kind of a guiding light. I mean, I had people in my life. I'm not saying that, but I didn't have.
Parents are a staple.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure.
I didn't have
Understand.
the planted. Like most people do. Well, I won't say most people, but like your average would.
Yeah.
So it kind of leads us to here. My 20s were kind of a blur. It was just a lot of just fucking around and trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing as I get a little bit older, year by year, how much damage was done and how much damage I have done.
Yeah. You have any kids?
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old?
He's 8.
Wow.
Yeah. And he is luckily smarter than me.
It's come out well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
worked out.
He's a great kid.
Still alive. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So that is kind of my journey in a nutshell.
Wow. Cool. That's a good story. I like it.
There's a lot. I'm learning that there's a lot of blank spaces.
Oh, yeah.
My oldest brother basically kind of raised me, and that has its goods and bads.
Yes.
So
I like that. And you'll probably, like, as you're getting older, realize, like, the pod was really for me to learn from other, or, like, you'll probably gain a lot from just this experience.
I definitely feel like you're right.
Yeah.
Along with me wanting to understand more, it's definitely me wanting to hear more people's story. I wanted to be able to see if, at the reality of it, I wanted to see, that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And what it's proven is that nobody's alone.
Yeah.
And that's become my favorite thing. And that's why I think one of the text messages you said something like, you hope you have value.
Yeah.
And when people say that, I can't help but just shake my head. I'm like, that's the one thing I have learned about doing this is that everybody has value and everybody's story. Man, it's one of my favorite things to have guests on, and then to have other people email me about certain guests and say that they've related to somehow in that story. And it's helped them through a certain thought process or a certain day. And I'm like, that's fucking why I'm doing it.
Hell yeah.
I love
That's
it.
cool. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mainly mentioned the value thing. At that point, no idea what the pod was about. So if it was like entrepreneurial, whatever. But,
I see.
Yeah, but for me, no, I totally understand, because I gain value from anybody's story.
Yeah.
Listening to anybody even finish out a thought, unless it's just bad. Unless it's just a bad take, it's just like, bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
So that's a little bit about me.
That's very interesting. Specifically, your brother raising you. That's a crazy. Like, I don't think. I've had so many friends that have had crazy upbringings, and I've lived like a mile down. And I think J. Cole has like a lyric about that, where he's like, we're doing bad, but across the block, brother couldn't even eat. Like, he had nothing.
Yep.
Like, and he's down the block. And so for me to complain is like, what is that? And he was like, so no, same situation with me. Like, we had a house. Having a house was a big deal type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but if you're ready, I mean, I can talk about whichever part of the story specifically if you want to break it down, but I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, you said you grew up out here.
Yeah.
Which area? What area did you grow up out?
It's pretty much like off the I-17 and Thomas-ish,
Okay.
like that area.
Okay.
Like 15 years ago. I mean, that's where I was, as a kid.
Yeah.
So is that, and then I lived on like 83rd in Peoria. My parents divorced very early when I was like 2.
Shit.
Yeah, I have no recollection of them being together, but I do understand what it meant for them to not be together.
Right.
And yeah, so yeah, when that happened, it's pretty much like my memory clicked right when that happened, like right after it happened. Because my brother always makes fun of me, but like us two at the time, one of my first memories would be like literally us in the car driving to my stepmom's new house, or not her new house, but our new home, because we're moving in with her. And I remember dropping a DS game. It was a DS game. I dropped it, and it goes down the side of the door. I'm like, the DS game. It was like Incredibles or something. And I'm kind of freaking out, and then we show up. And I remember opening the door, never found it.
Oh.
That's one of my first memories. So I'm like, but we were at this new home. First memory there. Second would be us. That was what my dad did. He met a girl, moved in. And then my mom, we moved in with my nana, with my grandma. And we lived there. And so I'm sure there was a point, my mom was never homeless or nothing, but she did have family to back out on. But that was the first decision. New girl, my nana's house. And that was my life. It was split. That stepmom, my new stepmom's house, that place that we moved into was rough. That was on I-17-ish in Thomas, like that area. Oh, it was brutal. It was in the ghetto, man. It was crazy, especially back then.
I was gonna say it's a really unique. When I say unique part of town, I mean literally, because if you go west, things get fucking kind of ghetto, kind of fucked up. You go east like 3 miles, and it turns into like Biltmore,
chilling in the burbs. Yeah, no.
You got money out there. I'm like, what is happening?
Yes, yeah, it was very weird. Man, I don't know if you know where Hamburger Works is. Do you know what that is?
Uh-uh.
Oh, that place is fire. That
Yeah.
place is good. It's right. So there's a school called Hurd Elementary, and it's literally right there off the I-17. That's where we went to school. But when I moved in, like growing up, I guess, man, I've never talked about majority of this, but like for play, like me and what we didn't have like, there was no phones. I mean, I had a BlackBerry, you know, like that was my communication with my parents. That was my dad's old BlackBerry. The first iPhone dropped like 2011 or something,
BlackBerry.
or 2007. And yeah, that was around the time when I was going to school. I had a BlackBerry. I'd play some stupid games on it, but where my school was in the pristine ghetto. It was just bad, and it was crazy, man. Like lockdowns were not something we were worried about. It was just more of like a weekly occurrence type situation. And
Really?
yes, very, very bad. It was kind of like after the, oh my God, what was that? The first big shooting?
Was it Columbine?
Yeah, like after Columbine pretty much is when things were like gun control around schools were taken a lot more serious and blah, blah, blah. So at school, we're in the ghetto and there's like, there's just dudes with guns. Like that's just how it is, you know, in on Thomas and shit. So there would just happen to be a guy with a gun in a gang situation a couple blocks down. They would take that as like a huge threat at the school. So it just shut down all the time. Yeah, and so anyway, growing up there was interesting to say the least. It was just you would make friends with the block. There's a drug dealer living in front of you, like that was your neighbor. And down that block was like the other corner house. Lived on a corner house. The other corner would be a friend from school, and then there'd be kids that just didn't go to school, but they were always at home, but they're very smart. Didn't know what was going on. They're twins. There's a whole bunch of weird just dichotomies going on there. But our playtime was either play outside, go in the alley. There's a couch. Never thought about bed bugs. You know, we're like super young and we're just like, oh, there's a bed in the alley. Like we could jump on it. There's a couch. Yeah, and it's sketch. There's people like driving by like in Cadillacs just through the alley. Drug deal probably or something. I don't know. We could have easily got taken. Is the moral of that. But no, I mean it was a fun time. Very, very fun time. I could take it as. And then and there's dual custody every other week. I'm moving back and forth between my parents, so I'm in this crazy situation. It's always chaotic. We're eating sometimes like just bread and like peanut butter. Like there's just not food. Like it's a very hard time, especially in 08.
Yeah.
And I learned later that my dad and them were going through crazy deals with money and like even getting the house and even keeping it. Like we're almost homeless numerous amount of times. That switching to my nana's house where it's still a little ghetto, but it's fun, it's chill. And then my mom meets a really, really successful, just nice dude, cares about her kids. And like then we get a house in a nice area. It's like a burb, you know, a suburb. And then so like that just being set up for my upbringing was so weird because there's people are stealing our Christmas lights type situation at my dad's house. And then I'm going to like this very nice cured area. Honestly, don't even remember where it was. And then they have a kid, and I'm like, oh, this kid's like my brother's not gonna know. Like he's my he's my half, but he's not growing up. I was very worried that he's not gonna know what I know and live the way I live because of my upbringing in such a bad area.
He's not gonna have that diversity thought.
Yeah, not the diversity of thought, the discipline, the understanding of people that are in crazy cases, but they're still human. He just won't know that because he's growing up in this area. You know, I had that. And so growing up with that was very hard. It was just, I found it like, why am I always moving? I live in the trunk of my mom's car. Like I'm always moving back and forth. You know, it was crazy. But fun times, man. It brought up a interesting life. So
Yeah. The knowledge that you take away from it, like not even immediately either, but the knowledge that you take from it and then growing into is wild.
Yeah.
Wild, man. Some of the stuff, like I didn't grow up in a bad area. I grew up down the street. And the north side of Phoenix was always known as like a quieter part of town. But as I grew up, I started discovering more things like as I get older, I get out of high school and I discover that there's like 3 or 4 dudes that I grew up with, like they were super close to me that are now on the street and I run into them like at Circle K and shit.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, dude, that's heartbreaking.
It sucks.
It's like just some of them died. Some of them died in their house from drugs. Some of them died from gunshots. Some of them ended up on the street. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like we were in a good, I thought was a good neighborhood.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, like
So
that's funny. Yeah,
I was just blind, I guess. I mean, that was one thing I was always guilty of, was I never saw color and I never saw issues. I just saw who I saw, and I wanted to be around who I wanted to be around.
yeah.
So,
And then it's crazy to think how easily that maybe could have been you
right.
in those random situations.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like I ever thought about it. I was just as I'm going to use the word naive, like just a kid jumping on a bed in the alley.
Yep,
And
chilling.
and we were just inches away from disaster.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. And my friend has a story where, similarly, he was in an alley, just hanging out with the boy, or like walking past one. I think walking home from school, and yeah, he witnessed a kidnapping pretty much from the other side of the alley.
Shit.
Yeah, and it was one of the girls I went to school, or nearby school, and that was he was in like 6th grade or 4th grade or something like that. Walking home, and he just looks, and girl gets taken in a van, and or I think he said it was a car, like a regular car.
Right.
But yeah, and him saying that, I was always like, damn, dude, that's where I spent time. That was a fun time for me, is hanging out in such a, as naively put it that way, hanging out in such a fun spot.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and
That's really what it comes down to, is you don't know what you don't know.
yeah,
And if it's not something that's ever happened to you, then you're not looking for it.
no, yeah, it's crazy.
You said you're 21.
Mm-hmm.
You're only 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that you and I grew up was similar, but probably a lot different.
Oh yeah.
It's literally only because like the technology and shit. We just didn't have that shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like you were much strapped to technology anyway.
Dude, it was such, I feel like I was born at the best time, because it was more of like, I got to witness Steve Jobs release the iPhone.
Yeah.
The transformation of music, even though it's controversial. Kanye releasing albums like The College Dropout or Graduation. In those times of transformative, and like just, especially where I grew up, it was just a lot of Mexicans, a lot of black people, a lot of Asian, just a lot of diversity. Having that much of a culture shift in the world, where there's just music technology that can expand that music. It's kind of like how Jordan was huge because I would say like TV being brought to other countries. He was huge because of that fact. He would have been huge regardless. But TV, like just television broadcasting, all that, these technologies that came up in the 80s, 90s, that helped him tremendously. And then imagine when the phone comes out, like an actual cell phone that you can touch and there's no keyboard. That's a huge deal. And so growing up, I'm in like, what, 3rd grade, 4th grade?
What year were you born?
2002. Very interesting.
Fuck. Oh, that hurts my soul.
When were you born?
Fucking 88.
Dude, that's not bad, bro. What the heck?
But no, you literally were on the brink of, and if you can remember all that shit happening, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because that was such an amazing time, dude.
It's fun to think about.
Yeah, it is. And the fact that you can remember it is fucking amazing. And I'm grateful that you can, because that was the brink of a new life.
Everything. Like
Everything changed.
MySpace and all that crap. It's just like, I could talk to my friends without having to like call or borrow the phone off the
Yeah.
wall. That's a crazy deal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's fucking wild.
And I mean, I was very young. I was in like 4th, 5th grade. But still, like having people with phones and people with flip phones, and that's a weird time to be in school, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
I
think about that.
I fought to the tooth and nail to not have a full touchscall.
Why?
Just because
Rebellion,
I was
to have.
I was
not to do it.
I had phones that, like, it was almost, well, it probably wasn't this big, but I had phones that had a touchscreen, but they also
keyboard.
flipped.
Yeah.
And it had a full keyboard, and I was like, nope, I want the keyboard forever. And I fought it, dude, and then finally it fully transitioned to where every phone was like, I was like, oh, whatever, I need a new phone. So
That's funny.
just give me it. And I didn't even have iPhones until 2 years ago.
No, very valid. No, I didn't have iPhone until like 4 or 5 years ago ish.
Yeah.
But even then, that's a late jump.
Yeah.
Like
It is super late.
came out in 2007.
I hated the iPod.
What?
I hated it.
Why? The
The iPod Touch.
Why'd you hate that?
I just hated the way it was formatted. I like hated trying to use shit on it.
That's
and,
hilarious.
and I was like, I don't want a fucking iPhone. This thing's a piece of shit. Why the fuck would I want a phone?
That's funny.
And here I am.
Dude, if you were born maybe like 5-10 years earlier, you would probably be one of the guys that just never transitioned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, I don't even want to get an email.
like, yeah, all these kids on their fucking phone.
Fucking bullshit. No,
Oh, that's awesome.
I tend to embrace it as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the way of things.
Yeah.
And not only that, but for guys like you and for guys like me, if you're really trying to be successful, then you kind of have to jump on the wave.
Yes.
And I really don't have a problem with it anymore. I'm kind of cool. I mean, it makes fucking life easy.
It does. It does.
So-
There's a lot of security issues that we'll probably deal with in like 10 years time or something, but
Sure.
yeah, but right now it's chill. It's cool.
It's all right with me now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that are always on that fucking bandwagon of, well, I like my privacy and I like this. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't care about me. They don't.
Like TikTok knowing what I watch that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I know that everybody can see what I do. Okay, I don't care. I don't have any reason to be hidden right
Yeah,
now.
the CIA being able to tap in my phone calls, they don't want to hear what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear me talk about my truck,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Have you seen the memes where it's like, because PlayStation started recording their users like group calls, like their parties. They used
Really?
to, they started doing that like 4 years ago or something. And then it was the memes that came out. I was in high school 4 years ago. Were just like it was like. It's that Frank Sinatra song where it's like, what is a man? And it's like, what does he got? And it's everyone going to jail. It's like me and the boys going to jail after PlayStation starts recording
Oh
our
my God.
combos. But no, it is a concern. But
It is.
that's a good, like, that's an understandable perspective of like, why do they need my shit? Like,
Right.
who cares?
It is a concern, and I can imagine that there's going to be a point in time where I might have to draw the line. But
I think there will be really soon, especially with AI. Yeah, I do believe that.
I'm definitely. I don't want to say like on the wall, but what am I looking for? I'm definitely like, I guess I'm just kind of like in the wake, just like waiting for something big to go down.
Yeah,
And I don't know what that looks like. Fuck, I couldn't even. What was that? I had this conversation yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, me and my buddy were at a thrift store, and I was looking through DVDs, and I looked at him. I was like, dude, I thought DVDs were the end of this."
That's crazy.
And he was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I just thought this was the end all be all."
Like the tech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now DVDs are gone, and he was like, "Well, it was either that or Blu-rays," and everybody went to streaming.
Yeah, Blu-ray was such a cool time though.
It was.
That's hilarious.
That was you were the boss if you had Blu-rays.
Dude, we had like like, oh my gosh, my stepdad specifically had a box full of DVDs and old westerns, a whole bunch of cool, like Blade. He was very into that, like,
Yeah,
I don't even know what the aesthetic's called, but like pretty much the shirt you're wearing actually,
yeah.
where it's kind of, yours is more camo, but imagine like the feathers and the flag and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Like in the early 2000s, that vibe, there's a very specific genre of movies that were being produced with that aesthetic.
Yeah.
This dude had a box full of them. And I was like, we had that collection at my dad's house. I was at my mom's and my dad's. He was into westerns. If he's watching, I mean, I don't understand still, but it's cool. It's badass, but he was in it. And we had a whole DVD section, and then there was like 8 Blu-rays, and where it was like, that was the shit. It was just cool.
Those are the ones you want to pick from.
Yeah, and they have like the cool, like, right now I think they do like, what's it called? the IMAX movie posters where they're just way more badass for some reason than the other ones. That was the Blu-ray. Like, it just had a different cover. It's cool.
You know what I did fall into? I fell victim to the 3D movie or the 3D TV trap.
What is a 3D TV?
Yeah, dude, I bought like when flat screens were just becoming like a real big thing.
Uh-huh.
I bought a 55-inch Samsung, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the first iteration.
I had one too. Now that you just clicked a weird memory,
Yeah,
bro.
a
Oh my
3D
gosh.
TV, dude. I paid like $4,000 for this TV.
Yes,
And
I used to have one.
Yeah, and I was like, there was only like 4 movies for it.
That's crazy.
One of them being like Avatar.
Oh shit! The Last Airbender, or which one?
No, it's the Avatar with the big blue.
Oh, cool. That's a great movie then. Okay.
That and like you could watch Despicable Me in 3D.
I mean,
I mean, it was pretty good.
Get a J. That's
But
fun time.
It,
That's
it
hilarious.
came with a bunch of the glasses and shit.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have one. That
Yeah.
would be like almost 10. I think like 10 years ago, or like.
I mean, pretty close to 10 years ago. 'cause
That's hilarious.
That's about when I bought it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now they have OLED, or they have like the flat screen TVs,
Oh,
like
yeah.
actual, like they look like paper.
Yeah. You can get like portrait TVs that almost mount to the
Portrait,
wall.
yes. Those are way too expensive. That's so dumb.
Now it's just crazy because like you used to have like a full entertainment center
Yeah.
dedicated to like all your
Sound
shit.
system, subwoofer.
Did you see my living room?
I didn't notice it.
Okay, I got the big ass TV.
Yeah.
Nothing around it.
Yeah, the sound's good enough.
I don't need anything.
No, for sure.
It's got every fucking movie I could ever want to try and find on
Yeah.
it somewhere.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so well, sir, for this episode, hopefully you're going to come back
Yeah.
because I feel like you and I got some more stuff to talk about.
Oh, 100%.
You want to do it again?
If you want to, I'm down.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
we didn't even get into any of my story. Really.
No.
No.
We dabbled a little bit, but I want to hear more.
Okay.
So for this episode, is there anything that you want to plug before we take off?
Dude, nah, I'm not. I mean,
You don't want to?
no plug.
Come on, this is what the voice is for.
Dude, there's no plug, man. I got it down to a T, and it's like those efforts will, pay in their own ways, and
Yeah.
in this way, that's not. I don't believe in. I think this is a good time to just have a conversation documented. You know?
Okay.
So-
Well, hopefully soon I'll be the one doing the plugging because I want to do business with you.
Dude,
I feel like there's
Yeah.
some things I can learn from you, and hopefully I can do business with you.
that'd be awesome. That'd be fun.
So,
What are we at? What time?
it's 55 minutes.
Hey,
That's
okay,
about when I cut them.
that's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
well, I appreciate you coming in, man,
Dude, I'm happy to be here.
and I'm excited for the next episode.
If you're watching this, just comment like the word melon. There you
Mm-hmm.
go. If there's any melon comments, I'll be like, oh, cool, okay. But nice to be on, man. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Not a problem at all. I'm grateful, and this was a great conversation.
Yeah, yes. Let's do it.
For all the listeners, you guys know how to find me and know where to listen. Please like, follow, subscribe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's not up to date, but check it out. You can check me out on Facebook as well. If you have any questions, comments, concern, you can listen, or you can post them wherever you're listening. Every platform has the availability to comment on the video that you're watching, so please feel free. And if you have any questions, comments, me@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you guys, so as always, I love you.